So let me just talk you through how you're going to do this. So this is a car I did the other day. I've done them over and over again for the last 15 years. So you're going to need two tools. One of them is to go in the ends of the camshaft like that, and they slot in and hold the camshafts in the correct position. Okay, and then the next tool you're going to need is this one that goes in and keeps the crankshaft in the right position. So what you do, let's go back to the first picture, is you turn the engine round manually with an 18mm socket until it looks like that this is going to go in. You don't need to put it in at this stage. So after that, you then turn the engine backwards manually, slowly, and you basically only want to move it, say, a centimetre on this pulley. So just go back a little bit, and then once you've done that, you take out a little bolt here. This is the drive shaft, so that's not very good. But anyway, so you'll see that the drive shaft is here, and it's just above the drive shaft. You take that out, and then you screw that bolt in there, and then you turn it clockwise until the crankshaft touches the bolt, and that is the correct position then. And then if you go back up to the top of the engine, if it's timed up correctly, this will go in the slots. Now you'll never be able to push it in with just your fingers. You'll have to tap it in with a little hammer or something. You can even see marks in it where I've been having to tap it in. So it's really quite a tight fit, really. So once you've got it in the correct position, I get myself a drill bit and I drill a little hole at just a dimple at the top of the bolt, so that I know to be able to put it back at the right tension as it was. See, the problem is, if you don't have the right tool, this when you undo this nut, this pulley just spins round and round, as you'll find out. So unless you've got the right tools, you won't be able to time it up properly at all. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. What am I going to tell you to do next? So you need to undo it with a gun, really. Now my little gun won't undo it. You need a bigger gun like this. If you haven't got that, then you're going to have to hold the engine still by putting it in gear and having the foot brake on, or locking the crankshaft in some other form, say through the starter motor or something like that. So once you've undone the bolt and you've fitted your new timing belt, then you have to make sure it's all timed up before you start putting it all back together. Now there was another picture which might just help you. No. So bear with me. Oh, it doesn't seem to be here. So on the tensioner there's a little pin that you put in, and that will enable the tensioner not to keep tension on the belt when you're putting it all together. And then once you've got the belt on, you pull the pin out, and you'll see that it keeps the belt at the right tension all the time. So when you're putting it all back together, put this nut in here without the pulley on, and turn it round until it tightens up a little bit, until you turn the crankshaft, so that as you're turning it you feel it touch the pin. Then you start putting it all back together. you know, like this. And you've got to tighten up this nut either with a gun, and I mean a powerful gun because it's really quite tight, and when I do that I leave the pin in and I leave that bar in on the camshafts. But if you're going to be turning it up manually with a bar like this, then I would only gently tighten up that nut to just about something like not too tight, not quite as tight as a wheel nut, and then I would remove both the tools, because if you leave the pin in and you start tightening up that nut, you will have to push so hard on it that you'll bend the tool. So you need to find a way of holding the engine still, tighten it up to the right tension, and if you're not sure what the right tension is, then it will be a bar like this with your entire body weight placed on one end of the bar, and that will be about the right tension. So it really is quite tight, as you'll find out. And then once you've tightened the nut up on here, you're going to need to put the tools back in and check it's right, because obviously it needs to be spot on. So to check it again will be the same as what I said in the beginning. You turn it round clockwise until it looks like that this shaft, this piece of metal will go in. Then you turn it backwards a little bit, and once you've turned it backwards a little bit, you put the pin in, which is this. I've shown you all this already. And then you turn it round clockwise until it rests on the pin, and when it's rested on the pin, this bar should go in, and then you know it's all timed up correctly. So good luck.